bought me things, cooked meals for me, spent quality time with me, and gave me advice, but I was always second to Jen. As I got older, I did anything I could to leave the house. I got my first job when I was 12. I vacationed with friends instead of family. I played 3 different sports and joined the band. I took my driver's test the day I turned 16 and bought a car the day after. I went to college on the other side of the country. Now that I make good money, I do the things I missed as a child. I take fancy vacations and throw elaborate parties as I please. My wedding was no exception. My fiancé, Kip, and I wanted everything to be perfect. We thought it would be fun to have a color scheme. My favorite color is yellow, and his is blue, so my guests would wear yellow, his would wear blue, and mutual friends would wear green. I picked out a dress with green embroidered details, and he picked a boutonniere with green flowers. When Jen found out about this, she was mad. I didn't know this, but she hates yellow because it washes her out. She told me under no circumstances would she wear yellow. I shrugged and said that was fine, I would just kick her out if she did not wear yellow. There was no further discussion, but on my wedding day, Jen came in a purple dress. I told her to leave immediately. The color scheme was perfect, and she ruined it. Jen refused to leave until I threatened to call security. The rest of the wedding went smoothly, but afterward, my parents were furious with me for kicking Jen out. I told them that I had warned her she would be kicked out if she didn't follow the color scheme, but they said they all thought it was a joke. They said it was cruel of me to kick my sister out over something so trivial. I told them this was my wedding, which I threw without their support, so I can kick out whoever I want. Kip came rushing to defend me and even told my parents they should be ashamed of how they treated me, but over the past few days, a lot of people I've talked to, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, have been mixed. Some say they wouldn't have even invited Jen if they were me, while others think I should have let it slide. Edit. I figured people would assume this, but I did not ask my guests to dress head to toe in their assigned color. I completely understand that people might not have yellow formal wear lying around. I said to dress in neutral colors and or your assigned color, so someone could wear a black dress and yellow jewelry, a black suit and a yellow tie, etc., but no colors outside neutral or your assigned color. I invited Jen because she is family, and I honestly thought she was more mature than this. I did not know she hated the color yellow when I chose the color scheme. She was the only person who did not follow the color scheme. Update 1 day later. First, thanks for all of your comments. I felt so guilty the past few days and was worried it would carry into my honeymoon, but you have helped me realize that I am not the bad guy and that it's okay I responded the way I did. Last night, my parents reached out to me and asked if all the things Kip said, about how they should be ashamed, were true. At that point, I told them how my upbringing had impacted me, and how my wedding was supposed to make up for the parties I never had as a kid, and the decisions I never got to make. For the first time, I was able to call all of the shots and make everything exactly the way I wanted it to be. I even showed them this post and how most of you responded to help reinforce what I said. My parents said they had absolutely no idea how deeply their treatment had affected me. This is somewhat fair because I never really talked to them about it, but at the same time, I feel like they should have wondered why I left home as soon as I could, never came back, and hardly ever texted or called them. They said they feel so sorry about it and are now planning a vacation with them, myself, and Kip for next summer to make up for it. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but at least now it looks like they're making an effort. As for Jen, according to my parents, she really struggled to make friends in middle school and high school. I didn't know this because I practically lived with my high school boyfriend during my sophomore and junior years, then graduated early. Jen repeated a year in elementary school due to trauma, so we were 5 grades apart despite only being 2.5 years apart. My parents tried putting her in therapy, but she wouldn't cooperate. College was a slap in the face for her when she realized the world didn't revolve around her. She had to live in the same 7x9 room with plaster walls and linoleum floors as everyone else. She dropped out after a year and tried getting a job, but got fired after a few months. At that point, my parents realized they had really screwed up. They told Jen she had to either go to intensive therapy or they would kick her out. According to my parents, she's now taking classes at a community college and hopes to transfer to a 4-year institution. She's doing better for the most part, though she occasionally lashes out. I'm glad Jen is getting the help she needs and working toward a career, and I'm excited about potentially going on a trip with my parents and husband, while also knowing they might bail. I'm open to having more of a relationship with them, but I don't think we'll ever be a super tight-knit family. Some wounds are too deep. But instead of dwelling on the past, I'm looking toward my future, starting a family with Kip, and making sure I don't make the same mistakes my parents did.